Alright, yo, what's up, boys? I am back. Trump's still going to run. Vance on Joe Rogan, so we're gonna react to all of that stuff. And then we'll also react to like gaming reacts. And other stuff on like other react stuff on YouTube and going for the usual bullshit. So let's get right into it, boys. Let's get right into it, shall we? Alright. Let's get right into it. We'll look at some of the clips. Just find the clips that he was like looking at. I think there's some clips. So we're gonna like try and like find that. And he did. I could be wrong. I think so. Let's just refresh. If I go look. This is some other like stuff that's like not particularly important. Okay, it's like nothing like really important. Like on here, just like do something like investment, like defense summit, something to do with like the military. Okay. They asked me like one question.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. They better behave.
So we did attack them again. Let's see if I can actually pull it up. Actually, we'll react to like the J.D. Vance show interview in a little bit. So there was an amendment that Thomas Massey was trying to pass. He was basically, I agree with Thomas Massey on. Thomas Massey basically trying to create a bill where we would end like 4 days to Israel. Our taxpayers wouldn't be going to Israel. I actually agree with him on that. I don't think we should be sending any of our taxpayer money to foreign countries. We need to focus on our own issues in America, and not worry about Israel, not worry about Ukraine or Argentina, Brazil, or just any country, because the economy is still bad, cost of living is still really bad, right? People can't afford houses, people can't afford apartments, groceries are still expensive, rent's still expensive, our roads are broken, our infrastructure is still broken, our education's not very good anymore, our immigration system is not very good at the moment. Our healthcare is still expensive. Premiums are very expensive. We need like focus on those things. We need to focus on our taxpayer money of like fixing schools, getting homeless off the streets, getting veterans off the streets, AIDS, cancer, and he's basically like Down syndrome, basically any terminal illness, basically. So yeah, we don't need to send more money just to fund wars, and just give our taxpayer money for our country. My opinion, I don't agree with that. It's done that you get like a lot of Republicans and decent of the Democrats voting no on this bill. It just shows you that our government is controlled by fucking scientists. So, U.S. military plans discuss a possible military action against Cuba, including its 101st airborne light assault for 1,000 troops. So we might be attacking Cuba soon. Also, I think we will attack Cuba eventually. I think Trump wants to wait till he's done with the Iran war before before he, started like attacking Cuba. Like guarantee, like eventually this, this Iran war, hopefully one day comes to an end. He will just go attack Cuba. What would be an answer on this is Iran war? No. Cuba's a lot smaller country than what Iran is. Their economy is a lot worse than what Iran is. They're not the biggest, as like a military. It's not like the military, like the missile production, like Iran has. 60% chance Parliament progressive Abdul Syed wins his Democrat primary. Hope not. Hopefully, like a conservative could be it, but it's probably not gonna happen. Fans, we're not getting ground troops. We're not getting ground troops for Christine Chase. Hope not, but they changed their mind a lot. I'm so kind of skeptical. I think eventually they'll try and do ground troops. Hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, for like 50,000 times, said Iran called Trump they want to kill. How many times I've heard that for like 50,000 times. Iranian drone hits a warehouse in Kuwait. This was like yesterday. I don't know if there's any more we can look on like an X. If it's this is like too long. I'm like listen to like 12 minutes, like a 12-minute like X clip. But Thomas Massey basically showing so the military were massive. Though my amendment to strike 3.3 billion in aid to Israel from the State Department protest bill did not pass. 104 House members voted in favor. They died to send Americans want their tax dollars to be spent on group debates here and not waging war against a base. Like, our taxpayer money needs to be fixing schools, building more hospitals, fixing the roads, do more central research like diabetes, AIDS, cancer, Down syndrome, just basically try to stop all these terminal diseases. We need to focus on building jobs here in America. We need to protect everyone. Should be fixing healthcare to make it healthcare more cheaper. So, this is the episodes from last year. What's this? Today, Judiciary GOP expressed support for the Congressional Records Production Act, but should go further. We should recognize that the Fourth Amendment requires digital will and protect the partial it's true. Yet the government is trying their best to undermine the Fourth Amendment by spying on us and all that stuff. So that's what he says.
Gentleman from Kentucky. I plan to support the legislation, but I think it's kind of weak. I don't see the penalties or the accountability in here for somebody if they violate this new law that we're putting in. And the other thing that bothers me a little bit is we're talking about subpoena this, subpoena that. Here's the word warrant. The warrants. That's what the Fourth Amendment requires, a subpoena. And to Mr. Raskin's point, I think it's dangerous to give them this kind of access and to say that some special master can serve as a gatekeeper for the Constitution instead of a warrant and a court. Just make them get a warrant if they're going to go after stuff that have somebody's personal information in there. Troubled that we are acquiescing to the third-party doctrine, that you don't need a warrant if this material resides somewhere else, AT&T, National Archives, wherever the text messages are. If a third party is holding them, there's a flawed judicial interpretation that dates back to things before they're even text messages, that you don't have a right to privacy if a third party holds those records. So as I support this, I think it's a step in the right direction. I wish it had more teeth. I wish we didn't go ahead and concede the third-party doctrine. I wish we didn't concede that you don't need a warrant to spy on people, whether they're congressmen or not. And I appreciate this and the timeliness as one of the 44, was it, members of Congress who were effectively spied on here. These personal texts were collected in violation of the speech or debate. I don't know which of my texts exactly were collected yet. I'm told I can go over and see what they were. But I can almost assure you they have if it's me talking to somebody at the White House, there is a nexus that has to do with my legislative responsibilities here. Otherwise, nobody at the White House would be taking my call. If I were just a regular citizen, asking about going to lunch or something, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows would not be texting with me. So anyways, appreciate the legislation. I wish it had a little more teeth, and yield back.
The gentleman yield back.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's fucking ridiculous that the government is basically trying to undermine the Fourth Amendment, basically, target people without any warrants. I like how they're basically want to spy on Americans. They want, that's why I hate the paper. Because obviously, the Patriot Act gives access for the government to still spy on your phone calls, they can spy on your text messages, your emails, all your personal information. I think it's just ridiculous. I don't believe in the government should be spying on your own privacy. I don't believe in, I don't believe in we should do like mass surveillance. Maybe we should get rid of that. The government wants to do more mass surveillance. They're basically trying to get rid of the Fourth Amendment by saying we want to give you more of your text messages, more of your private information. So, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. A lot of these dumb fucks are okay with that visa act. Basically gives gives them more access to look at your own private information. So how Trump complained about it when he was like running and he was going out there spying on my personal information. Like once he gets back in office, he wants he's like, okay with visa. It's just such bullshit. I don't want the fucking president to fucking spy on my text message or my phone calls. Something's ridiculous. Okay. If there's like a lot of right before saying clips, so like if we go quickly go look at the article. Like 2 to 3 Fox videos, so we go straight into the J Vance, with Joe Rogan. So this is what I'm not a big fan of Marcia Taylor Greene. I think she's a crazy retard. There's some things that prove her own life, she's a psycho. But I'm glad that she likes Thomas Massie. That's what she said. Thomas Massie is a great American that tried to stop Republicans from betraying America by tying our military intelligence to a foreign country. Military intelligence, and you're a file discussing paid neocon political assault everything we know gets true. I don't like to do with Marcia Taylor Greene. The reason why I've never been a huge fan of Marcia Taylor Greene, even though I am conservative, she just says a lot of crazy stuff. She said something like, I can't remember, she said something like Jewish, like space lasers. I'm trying to think what she said. She's just constantly very toxic. She's promoted a lot of her weird conspiracy theories. But I do agree with Marcia Taylor Greene. I'm happy that she, voted forward to release the Epstein files. I think it's glad that she was against the war in Iran, and she wants us to focus on our own country, to be like more like America first. She did vote against saying Israel's give her. This is what Scott Jennings said. Scott Jennings worked for Mitch McConnell, so he's the conservative that goes in the night shows on CNN. There's no things I agree with Scott Jennings, but I think Scott Jennings is a smart asshole. This is what he said. Massey sided with Democrats, but ultimately failed passing law just sons of his book. Bro, you worked for the biggest fucking neocon you've ever had. George Bush, who sent us to fucking Iraq. it says the Afghanistan says it brought the false pretenses, in which George Bush's reasoning for going to Iraq. Oh, God told me to go into Iraq. It was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And he, drags into Afghanistan for 20 years, where religion rebuilding gas stations and schools and highways. So, no, he's a fucking smug asshole, dude. I'm sorry. I don't like him at all. Not a fan of him, so fuck off. Alright, go now, since there wasn't really a lot of representation, we could go look at Fox News, or we'll say we get into the Fox News, we'll say we go watch the Shady Fan. And Joe Rogan, when it comes to early, he's asking to come with some footage. I want to watch like the full interview. Rogan's episodes like are pretty long. So. Dude, your website sucks. Your website sucks. Should I start going to song?
Check them out what they do. If you take them off, line 21 to 30. I must admit, there were times later in the game I wanted to see a little more of this. But I can't argue with it. It got to 28 31.
Trump says Iran lose American woman out since social media is a gesture of goodwill. So let me pause this like video so I want to read and not that interrupt me. President Trump said Tuesday that Iran has released American woman who senators from Iran wrongly detained in corruption for the past year and a half. She was identified Iranian American citizen named Dina. Sorry, probably pronounce her last name wrong. Karari. Probably spelled her last name wrong. I apologize. She was at points gone over her work with an American nonprofit helping improv children. She was second. On a post on Truth Social, Trump said that the woman who was attended December 2024 during climate change was recently allowed to leave Iran. Iran has allowed American citizens who was roughly detained December 2024 under the presidency of Joe Biden to leave the country. Trump. Sorry.
I was there.
Trying to look up something.
I've never seen anything like this. This was the most amazing game I've ever witnessed. Maybe I'm being a little prisoner at the moment, but I don't think so. It's starting to sink in. That was the most improbable comeback in all of sports history.
I'm sorry.
There was no way, because the New England Patriots of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Give 1 second, okay, guys. Alright, sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry about that. Brady is reported now safely outside in Iran in a good condition following release according to Trump. Her release marks the first time an American who's been free from Iranian custody since 2023, represents a notable development amid ongoing military coordinations between Washington and Tehran. Following her release, Trump thanked Iran for what he described as a gesture of goodwill. The United States of America appreciates this gesture goodwill by Iran, he wrote. Genscher released a statement shortly after Trump's announcement saying she's been trapped in Iran on bogus charges of collaboration with a hostile state in Espionage, but now on her way back to the U.S. According to Cheshire Curry, it was targeted by after Iranian authorities linked to the children of Mumbai Foundation, the U.S. registered nonprofit that provides books.
21-0. I said game over. There's no way. The Falcons are too explosive on offense. They're going to have the ball too many times in the second half. There's no way Brady could pull that off.
Under the regime, affiliations with U.S.-based organizations operating inside Iran are often viewed with heightened suspicion and can lead to accusations of security-related offenses. Chester clarified that Kari was never formally imprisoned, but was effectively held in Iran through Kari's next ban. He was reportedly interrogated dozens of times by Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security and suffered enormous physical, psychological hardship. That's fucking terrible. We urge Iran to drop all the remaining charges against us who work locally in support of Children of Mine Foundation who are innocent with no crimes. Chester says, and I personally call on police both and all wrongly imprisoned Americans and those subjected to great self-action against all Iranian prisoners. Sources briefly told Fox News Digital on January 2026 that Iran had been holding more than 8 American citizens arrested because they exceeded publicly available data that was at 5 American hostages in Iran. 2 of those current hostages include Kamaran Hekmati, 61-year-old Jewish man, since May of 2025 in Russia, Sadat, a 49-year-old journalist and dual Iranian-American national health since March of 2024. A U.S. State Department official previously told Fox News that President Trump is working to secure the release of detained Americans around the world. The Iranian regime has a long issue on just right and wrongful detaining other countries' citizens as hostage for uses political leverage. Iran should release these officials immediately, the officials said. According to the United States, according to the United against nuclear Tehran detains 4 nationals on fake charges and uses them as bargaining chips to extract concessions from the other countries, such as securing the release of frozen financial assets by locking locked up by the international sanctions. Iran has frequently targeted individuals who hold both American and Iranian citizenship, as Tehran does not recognize dual nationality and often treats dual citizens solely as Iranian nationals and consider access to U.S. consular assistance united against nuclear Iran. During the most recent major prisoner exchange in December 2023, the U.S. secured the release of 5 Americans who had been detained in Iran for years in exchange, and the U.S. approved to transfer $6 billion in funds. That's good. I think it's ridiculous that that our citizens that get held captured by Iran site. That's why I'll never go to Iran. It'd be kind of cool one day to go to the Middle East. If I'm gonna also I'm gonna go to the Middle East now, I would definitely want to wait till we fucking wars or dying over there before I decide to go travel to the Middle East. We go to also when I go to Iran, we're kind of bombing them. Get captured and probably killed over there because I'm an American. I wouldn't go to Israel because Israel's always under attack. I wouldn't mind going to Qatar, but for some reason Iran's attacking Qatar for no reason. Same with Jordan. I would go to Jordan because what's somewhat over there than we might see in the Middle East. Because I think it was super cool to go to the Middle East. So because it's like to see those. I would love to see like Qatar. I would love to see like Saudi Arabia. I might see like Turkey. Because we like go to Turkey. Israel. I may go there maybe one day. I don't know. I'd be kind of skeptical because they're constantly under attack. I would go to like Saudi Arabia. I'll go to like Qatar. I would want to see like the UAE. Iran, fuck no. Afghanistan, fuck no. Iraq, no. Those countries, nah. But what I want to go to Israel, of course not. So, yeah. Former Marine Robert Gawker says Trump is the Antichrist and must be killed. What the fuck? Holy shit, that's insane. Yes, I'm critical of Trump. He doesn't need to be killed. He's the fucking president. That's insane. You're basically saying that so should go kill the president. That's fucking insane. I would never say this. I didn't like Joe Biden. I wouldn't want him to be killed. Same with Obama. That's insane. Let's go look at this crazy retard. He probably's got fucking PTSD. A Florida congressional candidate and former U.S. Marine facing backlash after posting a video calling President Trump the Antichrist and saying the president must be killed. William Otham, a Republican written candidate for Florida's 5th congressional district. Dude, this is a fucking Republican. I was like maybe like a life piece. He describes himself as on axis of prosecutor willing to fix a broken legal system, opening nearly 7-minute video by saying he needs to restore bipartisan return out to working class to fix their broken legal system. Okay, that sounds pretty normal. The total issues. However, Otham says he has come to believe the country's broken and America is engaged in spiritual battle. We're led by a president who's the enemy of God. Otham says before signing Bible passages and all discussion the oath, he took his Marine officers to defend the Constitution against all enemies of foreign and domestic. He claims there's no doubt that Trump is Antichrist. He's a false messiah, and he's your enemy. He must be killed. Dude. Oh my god, this guy's insane. He's definitely arrested. You should get arrested for saying this. You're openly calling for the assassination of the fucking president. You don't have to like him, man. But he should not be killed. He's the fucking president, dude. Ugh. Dude, these fucking people. What is up with these people? Running for government. They're so fucking crazy. They were actually close to fucking 5 minutes, man. Later in the video, Obama urges, here's your question, whether there are worshiping false idol before people, and President Trump is the Antichrist, and he will be going sent to hell. God for hell against evil. Okay, you could. If you think Trump's going to hell, I don't know. Who cares? It's fucking insane. U.S. Marine Corps quickly to Yale. The Marine Corps is aware of the disturbing scenes by Willie Otham. He served his service role on act. Just give me a minute. That's insane. Service role, the comments made of him are direct violation of the oath. He swore to uphold and are not to service values. The U.S. Secret Service also acknowledged that the comments in a statement to Fox News Digital. The U.S. Secret Service is aware of the comments made by the congressional candidate and Floyd we are investigating anything that can perceive as a threat towards one of our protectees. A spokesperson said, "Out of concern for operational security, we do not discuss matters of protective intelligence." AP security trail also gave them remarks on next unacceptable and outdated salary range and some of their values. Bro, that's fucking insane. This guy's mentally. I hope this guy. I hope people don't vote. People in Florida do not vote for you to go kill Trump. He's literally the fucking president. But call for votes against the fucking president. It's literally nuts. It's nuts. It's wacko. What's wrong with this fucking guy? Thank God that the road dropped. He's a fucking insane fuck. Fuck that guy. What a piece of shit, man. Seriously, what a piece of shit.
This is from the woman over there.
God, that dude's a fucking terrible fucking person, dude. Dude, I don't think that's fucking crazy, but with a lot of crazy people running for basically, like, May was literally gonna fucking vote for a fucking, like, neo-Nazi rapist. You know, our cans these days are fucking insane. You're either anti-Semitic or they, symbolize, Islamic terrorism, or fucking neo-Nazis. It's just like, Jesus, can we get some normal people for once? Wash Byron Donalds brushes off GOP debate demands as rival lag behind the polls. Yeah, there's been kind of like a little bit of like a tight, you say, slightly competitive race in Florida. So basically, as you know, Ron DeSantis can't run.
Attention.
Rutherford His governor has exceeded his term. He's ran for 2 terms. Some states have like different terms.
Everyone's got that one space.
Like,
You know that.
like in Florida, there's only 2 terms. Like, there's like president for some like for example, like in Texas, like 4 or something like that. So basically, Byron Donalds is currently in Congress, is endorsed by Trump. It's basically running to replace Ron DeSantis. And you got like James Fishback, who was he's the CEO, I think, of of a dividend company or something like that. I don't know. They're currently like facing off for the people for the nominee for the Republican side. So they've been constantly chirping at each other, basically what James Fishback has. So just getting to it. Representative Byron Donalds is brushed off calls to debate his Republican rivals in Florida's governor's race. His opportunities arguing his opponents remain stuck in single digits while he holds a command lead ahead of August 18th primary. I've been consistent on this whole Fox judicial when asked about criticism of his refusal to participate in debates. These guys are in the single digits. They need to stay in single digits. Donalds has also argued there's no reason to give it a large lead he has maintained throughout the to the primary. The Florida governor has consistently pulled around roughly 50%, while his other opponents fell by single digits. His campaign has vastly outraised the rest of the field by over $90 million. They should spend their own time seeing the people for because they're not getting much work at all. Donald said. Donald entered the race with President Trump's endorsement, given a major boost of the MAGA voters. Ron DeSantis' term limit has not formally endorsed a candidate. Donald's opponents are Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, former House Speaker Paul Reiner, and James Fishback. The three participated a bit earlier from Donald's. Earlier, he was mentioned consistently for the conversations. Fishback has raised eyebrows with unconventional moves for us camping from using Tinder to meet younger female foes and proposing a syntax. Yeah, that syntax was and for some reason there Sophie ranks one of these OnlyFans and James Fishback is far right, basically want to do a syntax, that would also affect Sophie Rain. I think this whole syntax is stupid. This is why conservatives don't do well with young people. If they really want to do well with my generation, they need to be more like in the middle on social issues. They're way too conservative on fucking social issues. They really are. So, it's trash. It's all shit. Where is this at? Fishback has recently attempted to disrupt Donald's campaigns. Yes, like 2 weeks ago, James Fishback was basically outside heckling Donald's and looks like his campaigns. Where the controversial candidates stood outside shouting for Donald to participate in GOP government debate. On their stunt, Donald's told Fox News digital about Fishback shots in the fans. On their stunt, where people trying to get attention as opposed to taking their mission, their vision, and ideas to the people for earned support. I'm not gonna play these stunts. I'm not engaging in that stuff. Fishback on Donald's criticism, telling Fox News digitally to spend more time with voters and other candidates in the race. Only campaigned in Florida. History running for governor that has met all 67 counties, Fishback said. I've done twice as many visits by Johnson and just last month on Donald's refused to debate Fishback. Argued voters to search seat candidates face off. That's what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tried to do, Fishback said. It seems that he's closer to them than Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. We consistently engage in debate, voters to serve candidates are willing to debate before them. Fishback has also appeared unfazed when he's asked about single-digit polling compared to Donald's. As the front-runner race, the only polling matters is August 18th election night, he said. Florida's primary election will be held on August 18th, and the Donald's is still projected in the fair polls to remain sure we can't remove the petition. But we take nothing for granted, so keep working. Yeah, I'll be kind of interested who Florida's going to vote for. I'm not really a fan of Byron Donaldson. It seems like he's a rhino. It's kind of like a scientist. James Fishback is kind of interested in one. He was a faster thinker, like something like Doge dividends or like that. I'm not particularly sure. It's like he's only like 11 years older than me, so he's not too much older than I am. He said some. Fishback has said a lot of interesting things. He literally, he called like Byron Donaldson like a slave or something like that. Obviously that's very racist. That's really racist to say that. Like then he said something about boy slop or whatever. It's just like, dude, it's just, I don't know, he just says some other stupid stuff too. So, and he was kind of dusty, showing showing like Byron Donaldson's fans, kind of like a publicity stunt, so. But I don't really think, for Texas and my governor's running for re-election, he runs like 4 terms, I'll vote for Abbott. I don't know how many terms, I don't know what the term looks like here. I think it might be I think it might be like Abbott's last term if he does get reelected. Trump's labor strike forced the voice, to weed out Zachary $2 million per day fraud. Let's go look at this. So it's more about collaborations with the White House task force has supported a strike to force New York, force New York to recover hundreds of millions.
Everyone's got that.
New York has exhibited fraud and improper payment rates on a scale where we never seen before. Nearly $2 billion a day from hardworking American taxpayers. DOL Inspector General Anthony D. Esposito. Hold on, I'm saying that, guys. They probably told Fox officially while the state is cooperating with our review. These numbers are simply unacceptable, and our strike team will ensure these systems operating exactly as intended with no underlying issues. New York has contributed to 700 million in improper unemployment insurance claims and has accounted for 500 million of those claims paid out in 2025, according to the numbers reports in the federal government by the state. Now the Trump administration wants to claw back those funds and says were obtained for fraudulent means that never let state. New York has the highest unemployment insurance fraud in the country at 15% according to DOL. The federal government says that the state also has the highest improper payment rate, 20% of 500 million overpayments. New York has only managed to recover 25% of the total, which is well below the national actual loss prevention average of 65%. The spokesperson of New York's Governor Kathy Hochul's office told Fox News that she is implementing policy to fraud, which wants to party of President Trump's second term. Governor Hochul and the State Department of Labor take fraud and abuse very seriously. That's why the governor has led the way and implemented several changes since the pandemic to fight waste, fraud, abuse, and Democratic leaders spokesperson said, "We will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to pursue criminals and perpetrators unaccountable while ensuring workers receive the benefits to which they are entitled under the law efficiently." Effective amendments. The DOL describes a collaboration with the recent announced White House task force to eliminate fraud. Trump insisted to task force by taking order of March that Vice President J.D. Vance lead the effort. My administration will use all available resources and authorities to fight fraud, close loopholes, enforce the eligibility rules, and protect benefits for eligible Americans while federal administration said at the time. The DOJ said its efforts to fraud in New York is unique, and rather than they simply send national unemployment insurance experts to states, the agency is now embedding the office of the Inspector General's federal agents on the ground to work with the New York State's Department of Labor on criminal enforcement investigations. Never before has the U.S. Department of Labor in our office of the General unleashes level of coordination, the war on fraud. The Esposito said our lead strike team, powered by the National Unemployment Insurance experts, the LIG special agents, are embedded on the ground. New York done down every lead in dismantle suspected fraud. Combined with President Trump and Vice President Vance's task force to eliminate fraud, this collaboration has forged the most aggressive and advanced strike team recently. I hope that they find all the frauds in New York. I know that they surely, I think it was like last year, just like uncovered fraud in New York with like adult daycares, like nursing homes. I actually go watch that video. I know he uncovered like $190 million in fraud. That's just insane. If it wasn't for Nick Shea, none of this would be happening. So I really think that Trump should, give like Nick Shea some like a award basically like a medal for this. So I don't think they, go for all the fraud. I think it's kind of ridiculous that it's all to be allowed, like fraud and all this shit. Just basically just like unchecked. Also, just been fraud for years. It wasn't just, there's fraud also, like before COVID. Exploiting all like fraud with like nursing homes, like daycares, or like healthcare place should be prosecuted, should be put in jail. If any, also these people in jail. I really hope one day they do that. So more articles we can look at. If there's any other articles, we can go look at some videos from Fox News.
But you always have to have something like this.
Okay, this is called ice. All right, there's some more about ice. Obviously, there's been another ice incident with ice. A soda. Last week we've been illegal alien. There's one like an up in man. So we're gonna like react to all. We're gonna go look at this. Okay. So let's get into it. The day after the Department of Security announced a pause on ICE vehicle stops, President Trump instructed the agency to refresh course on what he called one of ICE's most important effective crime-fighting tools. In a social media post, Trump wrote, "We cannot give up one of ICE's most important effective crime-fighting tools to traffic stops." The president reasoned that he announced the HS policy shift will be played right into the criminals' sick hands. Radical left Democrats would like to see this done, but it won't happen on my watch. He wrote, addressing the federal agents directly. He did said ICE judiciously fair and smart and go back and do your very important job. She said that the president had overturned laws on vehicle stops. This comes after ICE sources conferred with Fox News on Tuesday. The agents were being instructed nationwide to seize most vehicle stops, major shift in the agencies, immigration enforcement operations. According to sources, the agents were instructed to end all vehicle stops except for the targets used by the most egregious and with serious violence or criminal stories. She said. She was second on his son.
Listen, I'm going to assign our best miner on the rock thing, and then I'm going to burn all the black. You guys made it personal.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that, boys.
Everybody out.
According our fans on this part, the pause was said to be indefinite. It remained in effect until DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen had improved new food agents. The agents in the be fatally shot by ICE agents in Maine and Texas with a span of 1 week. One senior ICE source remarked to Fox News that the changes ways after Trump, however, appears to feel differently. The men and women of ICE are doing a great job. and what that has to be done. Crime is way down in America in many cases. The numbers that we haven't seen in decades he wrote that. He said former President Joe Biden, who refers to as Savior Joe Biden, allowed 25 million people in the country. It's actually 12 million people. It's actually 12 million people, actually. Who said were unchecked, unattended. Many were criminals. We have to get them out in order to do this. We must be strong, tough, and smart, you wrote. To the ICE agents, operations across the country, Joe wrote, keep those crime stats, stack recordings coming, and remember, you are loved and respected in America. My opinion is I support ICE. I'm a big supporter of ICE. I support law and order. I support secure borders. I support getting the criminals out of the country. I think we need to also focus on getting the we have strong, for close borders. We need to have strong borders. I think we need to have like more asylum officers. We need to do a better job of vetting. We need to do like background checks. I think ICE should have body cams so you'll look at instances like this, what happened like in Houston and Miami, and also in like Minnesota. If we have like body cams on the ICE officers, we can actually determine if ICE is overstepped or not. So because we don't know if we don't have like body cams. I don't think, like I said, I don't think ICE is the problem. I think it's the leadership is not great. I think we need to have better leadership at the top like training ICE. I think if we had like Holman like actually in charge of of like the DHS, be like head of the DHS, I don't think none of this chaos that we have. And the problem is Chrissy Nolan was so incompetent. She was would constantly say something before actually actually look into it and actually conduct an investigation. The other guy that was previously the director of ICE was Stephen Miller is a nut job. He needs to stop influencing Trump on immigration. So, and also the media has to stop, deeming ICE as fascists, as Nazis, and also these people that do get, do like run into ICE need to just comply. They're technically still technically like law enforcement. You need to comply with them. If you don't comply with ICE, then you're gonna run into problems. I think that's the issue. Like a lot of these people, a lot of these people just want to play as like a victim. They're just using it as bait, in my opinion. I think they do this on purpose, where they try to mess with the ICE officers, and then they get physical with them. Then ICE gets physical and all that stuff. Then they play as like victim. Definitely what they're doing. I think that's like the biggest issue. So that's like my opinion. Obviously, you see what he is, and you see what he stands. Congratulations, you guys are the right defensive coordinator, the best defense. United boycott here on inversion for America. Don't want to know the truth. Every Democrat that comes in homeland security get to make Russia an unfortunate full fraud in America. Great job. Stephon Gilmore, good friend of mine, played incredibly well. I don't feel like it's just an interception. I think it's 84. 4% passing. Transfer drop ban could be permitted fiber votes on this year. Nancy Mace's bill would bar drugs for countries for security employees, and Africa companies start sweeping travel ban. See what happens. I don't know. Will that happen? We have to wait and see. See if Walls becomes a GOP punchline in sweeping new war on fraud. They should be. They're really talented. They're well coached. Trying to see on this weekend. That's not Super Bowl caliber. Let's go get some fish on Fox News now. We're going to do some fish on Fox News now since we because we are going to watch the J fans one. Just give me like a second, guys. I'll look at like two to three videos. We'll see, Chinatown. Why do you look at ChatGPT? Pretty look at 2 to 3 videos. Some of these videos are not really long.
I'm just saying, nobody creates as much havoc as this guy
So,
does.
I'm probably gonna say like Fox Sports is a lot of videos. I'm trying to find a decent US deploys a rare time.
Because he's so good. Offensively, though, to speak of what you were saying,
We can look at this one.
you don't have to.
All right, beginning in the Middle East, U.S. forces conducting a fourth night of pressure strikes against Iran.
Worse if Tehran doesn't come to the table soon.
He's got the latest. Mike?
Morning, gang. The U.S. blockade is now in place. And President Trump says what that means is that the strait is open with the exception of any ship that visits an Iranian port. What we've seen from both Iran and the U.S. now is an increase in strikes. U.S. Central Command says they've wrapped up another round of strikes inside of Iran. The targets have been Iranian missile and drone sites, naval capabilities, and coastal defense sites. And this follows 7 commercial ships that have been crossing the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper gave a number we haven't heard yet. Nearly a dozen civilian crew members killed, missing, or injured by the Iranian strikes. And he added, U.S. forces are holding Iran accountable for unwarranted aggression that continues to endanger innocent lives. 137 days into this conflict, with Trump reportedly holding meetings in the Situation Room about expanding the U.S. offensive in Iran, the president told our Trey Yinks, Karg Island is still a possibility.
Are you ruling out a ground campaign in a limited capacity?
I don't want to say that either, but I would say no. If I thought it was appropriate, I'd say sometimes you need a ground campaign, but we have other people that will do the ground campaign for us. But we already hit Karg Island. As far as taking it is concerned, if we degrade them far enough and deep enough back, I would do that.
We have video of an Iranian Shahed drone striking a target in Kuwait. There is some reporting that that target was a U.S. base, but I should note that is not confirmed. Iran has insisted they are not firing at their neighbors, but firing at U.S. targets in those countries. Bahrain took some fire today. It says aggressive aerial attacks were intercepted as a drone came down in Iraq. No reports of injuries. Back to you.
Well, thanks so much, Mike. Thanks, Mike. You know, I'm sorry. At some point, you run out of targets. And I think what you've seen the president is he's hitting these weapon facilities, these different areas that we had once hit before that they started to reconstitute. But the president made the point with Trey Yinks yesterday. At some point, you hit bridge and power plant day. If the Iranians don't come to the negotiation table, they've shown no willingness to do it. The deal is pretty much over, the MOU. The memorandum of understanding. And so I think we eventually are going to see that escalation.
Joey, with your military experience, a meeting in the Situation Room, that tells me it's classified, it's anti-eavesdropping, it's highly sensitive, time-critical national security issue.
Yeah, so the president's got two things happening at once. On one side, he's keeping his cards close to the vest as far as what they're actually going to do. On the other side, one thing this president does that maybe presidents in the past haven't done is he uses posturing. When he says next week is Bridge and Power Plant Day, that's not a message to the American people. That's not a message to the American military. That's a message to Iran. The hope is that he doesn't have to get to that. The problem is when you make a threat like that, you have to fulfill it. And President Trump is known for doing that. And so, does Iran push President Trump to that point? It matters because that is infrastructure that affects civilians in their life. And there are areas of Iran that are being affected by this that don't support the regime and don't support anything that's happening. It's a complicated answer, but when we have a chance to talk to Trey Yinks in a little bit, the real question is about run out of targets. If we have the ability to truly decimate their ability to attack anything in the strait, why did we even have a memorandum of understanding to begin with? Why did we ever go there? There's only two answers there. One is the cost to us is so great that we don't want to have to do it. When I say cost, I mean like bombs and bullets and blood.
Right.
Or the other is we don't quite have that capability the way we want or the administration wants to project. And I don't mean that we couldn't, but the timeline it would take to get there is much longer.
Well, it's also a president, to your point, to build on there, Joe, there's two things that's impacted him the way he's handled this. It's one, obviously, he doesn't want to hit the Iranian civilians. You don't want to make that problem worse. You've seen 30,000 of them already been killed by the regime there. So the president wants to support them. But number two, some people have talked about the president taking Carg Island or going to get the nuclear dust, and they will require ground troops to be able to do that the right way. And there could be casualties, and the president has made it very clear he doesn't want to have to do that unless it's absolutely necessary. The question is, since the Iranians have a vote, will they push the president in that direction? And that's something we just don't know yet.
Yeah, it would affect a lot of the civilians if he destroyed the infrastructure, and that's what he doesn't want to do. But he's not afraid to do it if he has to.
If he actually followed through on that and destroyed all their power plants and all their bridges and their electricity sites, oh my god, that would be so catastrophic. That would cause like a shit ton of casualties in Iran. That's like committing war crimes, dude. That's just, we accidentally already bombed a school in Iran back in March, man. That's just being kind of insane. I think this whole MOU is basically just I think this whole MOU was just bait for Trump to basically justify himself to go back into attacking them. I think he was just tricking Iran to come to a negotiating table. He probably knew that they were gonna fall for him. He was just basically saying, "Hey guys," basically, telling Congress, "Hey guys, I tried diplomacy. The Iranians don't want peace. I gave them, opportunity to sign the MOU. They don't want to do that. I have to go do military action again." I think you just do this on purpose. And also, the problem is with that is the MOU and this ceasefire is basically enough time for the Iranians to be able to resume a stockpile and all that stuff. So I think that's the only reason why it's happening. But that's just my opinion, obviously. We'll like I said, we try to follow through on this on that bridge thing. No, I don't think so. Because I just remember back in April, he said he couldn't wipe out the entire civilization, and also he didn't feel like that. That's when he got that ceasefire and all that stuff. I hope he doesn't do that. It would be very, very bad.
He's like our
What can we look at? We can look at another one video.
And now we have the firepower to get even the playing field.
I actually kind of want to see this. I didn't watch the 5 today because I only watched 5 from Jessica, so I'm not a fan of Jessica Toth. I think she's annoying. I think she's kind of toxic. She's kind of biased too. And also, I was watching the World Cup earlier, so we'll go watch this.
Well, it's not just happening under
We'll go watch this, or we'll go watch Joe Rogan, okay? Go watch the JVs and Rogan interview after that, okay, guys? Sounds like a plan, boys. Let's get into it.
the cover of darkness, Iran is now taking hits in broad daylight. The U.S. military conducting airstrikes earlier this morning and a few hours ago as well. So this comes after President Trump reportedly gathered his national security team in the Situation Room and discussed a much broader offensive inside of Iran, one that would extend well beyond the current campaign around the Strait of Hormuz. The commander-in-chief was out in Pennsylvania telling the regime that they better behave if they want to avoid
pretty much know, they know the story. They better be.
And Vice President J.D. Vance telling Joe Rogan that right now ground troops are the table if tensions continue to escalate.
If the Iranian people want to rise up and change their government, that's up to them. But we're not going to send 150,000 ground troops in order to accomplish a change in a regime unless the people on the ground themselves want to accomplish that outcome. Now, we're not going to send the troops in regardless, but like to propose sending in the troops, you're basically saying that the U.S. military should do the job for the Iranian people. We're not in that business anymore. We're just not.
Next one.
Finally.
We're waiting a few years for that one.
Waiting for this one for a while. So right and the sanctions have snapped back. That's like being in a headlock, getting punched in the face, and robbed all at the same time. So right now, the latest was this 4 nights in a row, heavy airstrikes on the coastline, taking out drone, missile, and naval sites. But there was deeper strikes into the country. We took out a railway that goes from enemy territory into Central Asia. So what they're saying is that they're signaling if we escalate, this is the bridge of the bridging power plant day. It's basically a land blockade.
Just went out the window as a school because we're now turning to the back of the quarterbacks in this situation. In my press conference, I have a question. You said press conference, and listen to it because we got it right now. You would think, as I look back and reflect, I was really crazy. I was really crazy. But you know what I always say? And my reaction after the game was something special. You remember that tape from me? That's how it was really upset. That's visibly upset that you realize that your star quarterback and all the hard work that you put
That's very retarded. This thing.
everything that you did in the training camp probably just came to a speech. That just it was. The snake says, I get chills thinking about it. Says, lie to your wife and favorite to win it all. Play video games all night long and neglect your family. That's what the lion says. The lion is the king of the jungle. You do not doubt the lion. When the lion says something, it is wrong. It is wrong.
You know there'll be an election issue for the 28 election. People here blowing doors like that. Have to see how did he get out of it. It's gonna be like, you know, Bush and McCain had the campaign on.
Aaron Rodgers with the flag, everything was flashed out. That was an incredible scene to start that. Seeing Aaron Rodgers on ground. Wow.
It is bullshit. I hate to agree with her, but it is.
But it's just the hopes of your team. What does the Lions say? Everybody, the hopes of that whole city was so high.
True. Sadly.
No, I'll give you one more chance. And you see this right now. Like, oh, we're still going this game. But every moment I'm thinking, it's just going to win this game. He's choking. He's choking on the Rodgers. If this defense right, he's going to be out with Aaron Rodgers.
What does the leader say in the Lions throat?
Incredibly sad and incredibly thrilling to watch them then overcome all of that and still be and everybody else has.
Oh my God.
So to me,
in my career,
watching the game you guys play, I cannot remember.
That's like
You piece of fuck.
And are you overhyped? And this even had a whole lot to do with hard knocks.
Jesus Christ.
The hard knocks are about to start for real in this game, and unfortunately, they started all too real.
What the fuck is she talking about? Oh my God. Guys, I'm sorry for this bullshit right here.
That's the most of any quarterback since he entered the league.
They are, sadly. It's just fucking. I hate agreeing with Jessica.
11 times he played every game for the whole season. So that's almost Jordan-esque to me. He played a lot of high-level football, he took a lot of pounding and lived to tell and to survive and thrive. And yet, here you come out and on, and as Richard said, I hate the Achilles. It's the most mysterious injury in all sports. It's the most debilitating injury by far because it's just hard to come back from it. And it usually happens when you're standalone running free. It's usually a non-contact.
I've never heard that shit.
You remember when you yeah, usually Dan Marino had one, Brandon Cunningham had one, back to my Chicago days, Jim Miller had one. Usually you're just like rolling out of the pocket and you push, you plant and push.
I have to go look it. I'm gonna go look it up, baby chat.
Shot you in the calf. You get down and you're like, what happened to my leg? My leg won't work anymore because it's a major tendon. I'm gonna trust you guys. Once it goes, it's going to be rehab. But this was unusual to me. I'll on J.K. Dobbins the day before because usually it doesn't happen when you get trapped with your legs underneath you. When that happens, your ACL or you break your ACL. Okay? So he gets trapped a little awkwardly. What happened on the play? Dwayne Brown is supposed to cut block.
He's looking right at every moment was an opportunity.
We're sadly we're back in.
Leonard Floyd, because it's a three-step drop and the ball is supposed to be.
This can air that shit.
Because they're going to quick passing, get aired into some rhythm with the young, so just try to get something going. And he completed one pass and the penalty, obviously, so cancel that out. And yet on this one, he holds the ball and Brown tries to cut block and it got him just for a second, which is all you should need.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Leonard Floyd said after the game, I kept going and going. I'm thinking, yeah, hang on to it, Aaron. And for whatever reason, Aaron did not like what he saw.
True.
And all of a sudden, as Floyd is ripping him down, his leg is caught underneath and he tries
Same
to
here.
push off three.
Base.
Remember, he had a calf issue in the offseason. Remember in the OTAs, he had a calf. Usually, if you have a calf issue,
True.
it will weaken the Achilles tendon. Remember Kevin Durant in the finals, he tried to come back too soon off the calf. And what happened? Kaboom, it went in the finals. And what happened to Aaron? Pressure on the Achilles. Yes.
True. I don't think he even knows either.
You know, my rookie year, he pops his calf and warm up did.
He probably didn't know either.
Penny tears his in 99, 2006. Chad Pennington tears his rotator as the Jets
Who is
getting
this?
something going. Yeah, Mark Sanchez.
Who are the fucking boy ministry?
You deal with Aaron Rodgers. And in between, there's been other injuries at the quarterback position for the New York Jets. It's a mind-boggling thing to think that every guy that comes in there that's supposed to uplift the position and be the guy goes down in.
Yeah, because you said it was over. I understand it was hyped, but when I saw what happened on the football field, that defense on that football field, we ain't talking about this, and I'm going to talk about this. Come back and run like he ran last night off of the injury. That's the difference. You know, you just scored a touchdown. I'm going to put it here. I know they were with that one leg, with that defense, and Aaron Rodgers. Over and the work you got to put it on the height. But they were high. This is my chest. That team with a right team. Insane. They've been good with it. They would have been extreme. I call it hype right. They were hype right. Yeah, they were. The hype was right on. In that defense, we talked about it on this show because you didn't know what to expect. This was supposed to be Josh Allen, another year of him, this man, he didn't play as well last year against the New York Jets. He didn't play well again last night. He lost to Zach Wilson last season, even with all his struggles and everything going on. Zach Wilson was able to beat him on the field. this Buffalo Bills team, if Josh Allen continues to throw those interceptions or deep balls where he's saying, hey, I'm better than you, my guy.
Yeah, this whole thing's so clown show. Sadly, this has turned back into a fucking quack. Into a fucking quagmire. I hate agree with Jessica. That's what I can't stand it, but it's just such an act of fucking grief for this kind of shit show. You know, I just remember, when the Wolves started all this video like the 2 day the rage should have moved to 2 weeks and moved to like 4 weeks and 6 weeks. It's been 4 months since we've been into all this fucking. And Trump has said the war's almost over like 50 times. I kind of lost track how many times everyone was being sealed. Clearly, they're just saying this to manipulate the bull markets and stock market. There's been some times where they literally said every one around the top is after, right towards the end of the stock market with rate close and start to go. But like Jesse is just such a fucking Trump dictator. Like, I like Jesse because, good God, dude, Trump could commit fucking genocide in, like, I don't know, Africa, right? And Jesse would say how great it was. I never ever seen Jesse ever criticize Trump. Never in my fucking life. So I agree with Kennedy, the war spirit said this such a quagmire. That if this will like keep going for like say like a year and a half, that's when besides the economy, that's when the biggest like talking point. You're just gonna how are they gonna get the border wrong? How are they gonna get this right to negotiate it? How are they gonna try end like triangle war and stuff like that? Like how are you gonna handle it with the nuclear program? That's a really good question. I guess Obama and John McCain back in the 08. Basically, I have to grasp how they're gonna end the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. So, they kind of asked, in the last election, how you get like food to the Israel and Palestine. So that's what's being talked about. I'll watch this one. Alright, guys, it's not bad. It's 5 minutes. I'll watch this one, then we'll watch like the JD fans in Rogan interview. Shit, my bad. Alright, sorry guys.
So now it's now Joe Burrow. If you start to look at Josh Allen and where he's at, he becomes more of a liability.
He is the anti-American platform radicalization to replace the president Supreme Court. Let me look at this, okay? New DSA platform includes limited U.S. Senate. What the fuck? They went through the executive branch. They want to give answers to all immigrants and defund the Department of War. That's fucking crazy. Like, honestly, I'm an anti-war guy, but we still need to have the Department of War to help, defend our fucking country from, potential terrorist attack. But give it the Senate. They basically just want one basic answer to Congress. They basically kind of want a totalitarian, style government. It's fucking, that's what communism is. So God, man, we gotta get these fucking bucks out of fucking politics. These people, and this is what a song is basically advocating for. God, we gotta get it. This is what songs we should advocate for. All these fucking things.
Kill me now, please. Kill me right now, please. Again. This takes forever. No, I appreciate you stepping up here. This takes forever. This is just
That's fucking insane. But these are the people that the songs fucking influence. This is fucking bullshit insane, dude.
His bicycle, but they had painted it. But the John bike had some rust in it. And they just painted over the rust. You see, and I knew sooner or later, I'm riding that bike, we were in the rain, and rust came back. I knew it.
Oh god, he's fucking terrible. It's worse than fucking Mike Johnson, dude. Jesus Christ.
And this is why I took the Buffalo Bills out of the playoff. I knew
you guys did not do a damn about the economy at all when you guys were in power. Come on.
They thought they could just pay over the rest. They're fine, everything's cool with this. When he threw that ball down there,
Yeah, don't support this bullshit. Carlisle, come on.
And another problem I have with Diggs, and here's I know with a traffic puts me in the mouth every time I'm seeing. You know, cameras on you all day. I keep seeing Diggs in the head coach. Look at the quarterback chase. Stop turning like man. He's more. Stop doing that. Stop.
I agree with that.
Troy called me in the room and hit me in my mouth. And I was like, thank you, Troy. You're right. You should have done that. Stop doing that to this man. Stop messing with him. Stop messing with his confidence. Let's just go quiet here and say, stop making me wrong see by doing that. I'm just saying, I had an issue with that.
Yeah, he's a fucking moron. He's a fake doctor that his son's fucking dick sucking too.
Diggs already talked about it in the offseason. There were rumbles. There were understand that. I understand that, sure. But right now, he is our quarterback. He must lead us. And I don't want you telling the whole world that he is not ready. I want you to talk to him in a better way and handle that differently. I don't want you saying that. I need him with anybody. I need his head right with anybody. I can't have you do that. I'm going to have to say something like this. That's what I'm
Yeah, we'll agree. I agree with
Buffalo, and that's a city where there's a whole lot of rust, right? You're up 13-3 and a half over a team that's just dead in the water.
They're common fucks.
All is lost. The whole continued to throw two more picks. We just quickly, I think we have them all together. Can we see the 4 turnovers just so we can all comment briefly on each one? The first one. This is just. This is a pass in the chair. I'm just going to throw it up and hold. Oh, I think I threw it to Jordan Whitehead.
What I didn't realize is the reason
I just wing it down the middle.
I've been dealing with this shit for 5 years.
Yeah, that's fucking communism. It's fucking communism.
And see, the first one I didn't have a problem with, Skip. Because he probably, now that Richard said it, I didn't at the time of the game. I didn't see over here that he probably could have gotten it.
Doing pretty good.
But it was third in a million. He threw it up as like a punt, deep.
No Marines, no Coast Guard.
On him about that. If he came to me and he said, I was just going away because I couldn't go first. I just wanted to go away. So I could punt the next time. I give him a little. I probably would say
I really want to take over the country next.
He was giving the guy an opportunity on a third and long, so it basically turns into a punt inside the 10-yard line at that point. That's kind of the way I looked at it. But Richard just said he could have ran for it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
That's right, guys.
Because it'll make a lot of times, a lot of things that y'all know is going so fast.
They want to empty the prisons.
As the owner of a small carpentry company, my expertise lies in.
They want to fuck the country over.
Next week's getting insured. What my problem with it was the cover. Was middle field close. Yeah. If you got middle field close and safety, you got it. There's another opening. There's another safety valve somewhere. Like I gotta look at the tape. But there's somebody sitting there wide open because middle field closed. Safety valve. Middle field open. They don't feel close, safety valve. Yeah. And for him to continually make the read and see Jordan Whitehead back there and say, he's not very good, I'm going to throw it. And then for him to get you once and then get you twice, and you're going to see him on the third time and say, I don't think he's going to get this one. Like, that is, I mean,
no, it's retarded.
He's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. He doesn't get different
Bro, this
results.
is what I saw in such a dick sucking too, by the way. Don't take him seriously, people. Don't take this bullshit seriously. You're just don't focus this like crap. It's just crazy idiots for commies.
He fumbled the ball twice. He is a yeah. A lot of times it's because he's trying to do too much. You ain't big in that level. You feel like I am bigger than the defensive line and linebacker, so I can take advantage of it. I don't mind the third wave of defenders. I get trying to sit in there and challenge them.
Oh my god. Bro, it's fucking crazy shit.
I need you to live another day. I need you to be a hero in this situation.
25 were red balls. We are making absolute progress. We're changing.
Yeah, you just run
It's yours.
No, that's true too. That's
Monday Night Football, and it was he has stung the defense before. The pressure actually increased on Josh Allen after Aaron went out. He's like, I got to do this now because this is a gimme, right? We're about to face this with our quarterback in Dallas. It should be a gimme, right? You got to live up. I got to take care of this. Well, it's their confidence.
And they just start spitting in each other's mouth. I bet you can have that.
And that's part of, and I was saying, I was just saying,
we can figure this out. They listen to
coaches that I've been
Yeah, just like doctors, why is up being a doctor? Oh my god, what a shit show.
Bench quarterbacks for making mistakes.
What a fucking shit show.
And so when I'm looking at it in this day and age, it's like because we gave you all this money, we're not allowed to tell you, say, man, what are you doing?
Good point. Remember, you can respond to us right now. You can hit us up at #UndisputedLive. But next up.
Yeah, the whole thing is so fucking insane. We gotta stop these socialist fucking Marxist commie fucks from ever winning elections. The Democrats and the Republicans need to work together just for once on one thing. I know the Democrats and the Republicans fucking can't stand each other. And I know Trump hates the Democrat Party. But I hope that Trump and the Republicans and the Democrats could work together, put their differences aside, and get rid of these fucking socialist Marxist commie fucks out of here. I'm sorry, they're dumb, they're fucking stupid, they hate the country, most of these people, most of these socialists are like running Senate, Congress, they're not even from the fucking country, they're from like different countries. You know, and they just want to bring their own bullshit into our country because we hate the country. You know, they want to get rid of the Senate. You know, they want Congress to vote for president. They want to take her right to vote away. You know, they want to give the Department of War, basically. And, you know, I'm an anti-war guy. I don't think we should be involved in wars. But I still want to have a Department of War. You know, if we're like under a terrorist attack, I want us to help us like defend ourselves if we were ever attacked. You know, it's just like kind of crazy that they don't want that, and they basically want Congress to run everything. You know, they want like Congress to like vote the fucking president, so we don't get to vote. No, that's literally communism. That's like a totalitarian machine. That's what communism is. Is what like you see like in North Korea, you see like in Cuba, you see like in Russia, basically, because Russia was running elections. That's what you see from like and also that's what you see from like fascist countries like in Germany, Hitler, just like totalitarian style government, like really, Italy with Mussolini, same with Joseph Stalin. So no, we have to get rid of these fucking commie fucks out from your government. They're fucking insane. They know nothing about economics. Ever had a job. They don't know basic economics. Their economic policies are catastrophic. Like their rent controls, they will never work. Like I say, it works in the short term, the long term, it jacks people's rents up. We're giving economics. Person said that even liberal economics, economics say the rent controls are going to be catastrophic, for the economy. Socialists, don't believe in, supply and demand. They believe in, controlling how much land you own, how much you get from your business, how much revenue you get. And they get how much revenue you get to keep. They don't believe in also like supply and demand. They don't believe in means production. They don't believe in private equity, private interstate. They basically want to control how much property you own, how much land you get to own. They also socialists are very big on thought. They want to basically replace the social workers, and they want to empty out jails. You realize if they empty out the jails, crime would skyrocket. Crime is actually gone down by a lot. We've hit over 100-year murder rate low. If we had all the fucking crazy felons, murder rates would just go way back up. So guys, we gotta stop these fucking commie fucks, socialist, anti-American fucks like Saw and like Colin Kalinske, just a lot of these fucking people that just want to, bring their fucking, like terrorist hate and shit to America. So, that's how I feel. Hopefully people will actually wake up and actually research what socialism is and actually do their own research and realize it's insane and they can go for just like common sense people. But alright guys, let's go look at Shady Vance, which is recently on Joe Rogan. He's been on Joe Rogan before. He was on Joe Rogan, before the election. This is his first appearance after the election. I saw the clips earlier. As I was watching some of the clips, we're gonna watch them together.
It's so dark. Gassed some people? Which one? Couldn't even see that guy before he started decision. What happened? Do you see a person basically turned into a failed state? You get a refugee crisis, you had people pouring into Europe, pouring into
He said that, it's hard to see people. Classic Infinity Ward stuff. Look at this. Shoot a nuke, he's aiming with his laser. We have missiles on our guns. Dude, this game is gonna be fucking crazy. The thing is, when he first get an MW3 experience with like
one of the most widely cited quotes from Omar Gaddafi comes in 2010.
Stuff that we haven't
Tomorrow, Europe might not even be European or even black, as there are millions who want to come in. We don't know what will happen. What will be the reaction of the white and Christian Europeans faces this influx of starving, ignorant Africans.
In YouTube, which is like fun, I guess. We got a PPSA huge.
If you do not pay me, millions of Africans will come knocking on your door.
You're bombing a wall which stood in the way of African migration to Europe. You will burn a house for thousands of migrants from Africa.
I'm trying to remember the name of those birds.
Yeah, I watched that YouTube. The Navy event was crazy. It was actually pretty fun to watch. Because, I enjoyed watching that. All the UFC fighters come, walk inside, come out inside the White House. It was really cool.
Again, a very stupid decision. What happened? Look at refugee crisis. I'll tell you guys later. Europe, or other parts of Asia, other parts of Africa. You had a lot of violence, a lot of terrorism come from that. I do think that there are people.
Gunplay, yikes! Literally just
There it is. He was right.
He didn't do nothing but set.
He was right about everything.
For 7 years.
That was crazy. Thanks, Obama.
It was crazy.
I know it's great on purpose too.
We don't go.
Yeah. I think you would support all these wars that they were having.
I just think it looks awful.
Well,
I think there's
yeah,
a lot of.
I don't know about Libya. I was always confused by Libya. Why that to the outcome in Iran. But then I say, again, what is in our interest? How is it in the United States' interest to have 94 million desperate people flooding into Europe, flooding into the United States, to have, sort of the terrorist infrastructure that can get established when you fan terrorists all over the world?
You haven't had it for years. Look at this.
He's totally right about this.
I don't even feel like I'm making a stance against them. I mean, what were you saying that if you play your game, you're going to go play your other game? It just doesn't really seem like a good own team.
You do that, the higher ups do that, exactly, right? That's why a lot of people not wanting regime change in Iran, they do not want to support him in 2028 for president. What have I always said? What have I always said?
Yeah, it's Trump's birthday.
I don't agree with J.D. Vance on the outlook on this. I think that Iran is an existential threat, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, if I could pick somebody that more closely aligns with, if I could pick somebody that's 10 out of 10, I'd pick somebody who's 10 out of 10. But if I have to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10, I'm going to pick somebody who's 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm not going to go and let somebody who's 1 out of 10 go and beat the person instead of somebody who's 9 out of 10. Yeah, like, I mean, let's say, like, if it comes down to voting, would I vote for J.D. Vance? Absolutely.
Hey, you help me build something with like a little bit more accuracy, or
why is that? It's because I agree with most of what they're doing, and I think that they move things in a direction that's beneficial to me. Now, would there be other people that would want to vote for it instead of that?
Interesting about this is that it says
I think so. Would I want somebody who's more extreme in some cases? Yes, I would. But I don't think that that's always realistic, and you have to be realistic. And so what I do is I look at what is the next step, not what's the last step.
The best people with the best
What's the next step?
and you go from there.
And you take steps one at a time.
With all the
Every once in a while, two at a time.
stuff we're using and see if
But
anybody has
usually one or two at a time.
what's competitive, what's not.
You have to say this makes you wonder how people vote. I think that there is not a wrong way to vote. The only wrong way to vote is the way somebody else tells you to vote. I'm giving you my reason, and I think this is the way people should vote.
It'd be kind of
But
interesting
if you
if
don't
Jay
agree
Vance
with the way that I see things, and you think that things are different, you have every right to vote for
to
something
see
different.
on that if he does or not.
Does that make sense?
Who knows, man? Still too early.
So
Too
yeah,
early.
you don't need tyrants who rule over religious fanatics. You need tyrants who rule over religious fanatics. I agree with that. Yes, definitely. You used to say you didn't vote because you didn't believe in choosing lesser of two evils candidates, but now you're saying you vote for that. What changed your philosophy?
In Barrington, Illinois.
What changed? Because I used to say not voting for lesser of two evils. The reality is that it's a case-by-case basis decision.
3 to 4 suspicious
That's
people
really what it comes down to. More
Talking
than
about Conor
It's
McGregor,
a case-by-case
don't get
basis
smacked
decision.
hard.
And I don't do or make any decision on anybody. Like, I have general principles that I make decisions on, but each individual decision specifically is going to be decided specifically, right? That, yeah, the lesser evil. Yeah, right. I mean, that's a case by case, exactly. And I think also, like, I think I downplayed the cultural value of it. I think that the cultural value and the cultural implications of Trump winning the election were a lot larger than just simply what happens in Iran. I think that him winning the election has made a lot of impact in terms of, like, for example, how people see the country, or how they see, America, or, how they see things like DEI. And I think that the cultural value of that means a lot. And it's always better to have a win than an L.
That's the way I would see it. And also, here's another angle for it, is that like South Africans are getting murdered at like, very high rates by like random crazy people. And they're getting murdered in a racial way. Like they're being killed racially. And because of that, there are a lot of South Africans that are just simply totally okay with this. Because they'd rather be murdered than be racist. And so there are a lot of people, I realize, that will literally go down with their ship. And I think the best way to handle that is to just make it happen as fast as possible. Anyway, let me go back. Okay, here we go. I'll do this.
You're hurt?
Good job. Rogan. Experience.
During my day, podcast my night.
Be careful.
Holy shit, that means I'm gonna go to bed at like 4 a.m. I'm gonna look like a total crazy person trying to go talk about this book. But it basically did work out. Honestly, it actually helped a little bit because you can do that. What's crazy about it to me is just how much the sport has replaced boxing. And like there's still actually boxing is still a big deal. Like fighters still get paid a lot of money. Like I remember when I was in high school, I feel like they the hips up and pull it way back. So I think the reason why MMA is more entertaining than boxing is another really big reason is that there aren't really any big names in boxing that are super interesting. Like Mike Tyson, people came to see Mike Tyson fight. People came to see Muhammad Ali fight. People would even come to see, like someone like I think those are the two goats of boxing, right? But then you have the people under that, like George Foreman, Floyd Mayweather, right? And these guys, I think that their personalities really do carry MMA. MMA, in a weird way, is almost like wrestling, but it's actually real. The guys are actually retarded, and they're actually fighting. Before he did this, he would be on the top of his shoulder, bridging the other option is pull it off the side like this. Yeah. You put it to the side of your hip. And you just told like to jump around the world. Madison I remember getting into an argument with somebody about this. And maybe did like in an interview, but I don't remember if it had been private too. Anyway, I'm like, people joke. I said wherever they were living was not joking around. Like obviously a lot of the MMA fighters are very intelligent and they don't like they're not all dumb retards, right? I'm joking about it. But like my point is that before I come out I'm friends with a couple of these people, right? I've talked to them before, like they're really nice, good guys. And like, many of them are some are, of course some of them, right? I mean, but like overall I think that's the same as anything. My point is, though, is that MMA, I think that it's better, like boxing and MMA are male sports. These are male activities. Women aren't watching MMA. Women aren't watching boxing. And to the extent they are, it's at a, like, well, yeah, you go to a UFC fight in person, fucking sports, whatever it is, like in Vegas.
MMA being run by a bunch of fucking beefy bald guys that let people say whatever the fuck they want, and there are no rules to it, is exactly what every young guy wants to watch. That's it.
California, like especially Los Angeles and San Francisco, they're falling apart.
Sure.
And I have a bunch. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why is it that large population centers, like places like Los Angeles and New York?
Yes, this is the guy that called Michelle Obama, man. It was kind of dumb, but it's kind of funny too.
This is literally the most clip I've ever seen in my entire life.
Probably should have said that.
You knew everybody. You knew everybody. So, part of it is suspect tax advice and setting up tax schemes for a lot of very, very rich people. Right, but why? I think Jacob just held back on that. I think that he's like, well, I think he held back on that. Did you guys notice that? Watch it again, yeah. Well,
Oh, that was so fucking hilarious. Go
I think suspect tax advice and setting up tax schemes for a lot of very, very rich people.
Oh, God.
Is motivated to influence
Dude.
academia.
The entire media had a meltdown over it, man.
I mean, I honestly, I can see that. He's a control.
The entire media had a meltdown over saying that.
Like he was trying to tell Bobby Kotick how to run Call of Duty. Unfortunately, Bobby Kotick was, and now like Jeffrey Epstein was suggesting microtransactions. He's control freak. The narcissist, yeah. There's forced thinking he was Mossad. Yeah, Mossad or CIA or some other deep state.
Yeah, that guy probably should have said it.
The highest levels of American intelligence. He sure did. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. He sure did.
Basically, sat right next to the president. So.
I'm sure there are here and there, but yeah.
If every applied
JD Vance says he's being accused of being an Israel. Here we go. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to take the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, my response to that is, I have to do for the American people. I represent Americans first. And that's the way that I've tried to do this job.
Yeah,
and the crazy thing is,
yeah, sure.
I'm like, people realize this. I'm actually in this, there's this massive pro-Israel, anti-Israel debate in the United States of America. I'm like the reasonable moderate. And I think that's what so many people don't realize. I think that he is not, like, he's not super pro-Israel. He's not super anti-Israel. He seems like he's kind of in the middle. He's reasonable about it, yeah. You know, I've been accused of being an anti-Semite. I've been accused for what? Quite literally for, I've been accused of trying to, I guess, some people say that I've insulted the Jewish religion, which is insane. Like, I really.
We live in a pretty reactionary, sphere at the moment.
A good, compelling argument for why I'm an anti-Semite, even though I've been accused of being an anti-Semite by many people. Did you disagree with something that Israel did? You did? Okay, well then there you go. That's one. But what I say to these guys is, look at the way young Republicans under the age of 65 approach this issue. Yeah, it's literally like the opposite. Where like old Republicans like 80-20 support Israel, and young Republicans 80-20 don't support Israel. Like right now, Israel is losing the public opinion battle in the United States of America. It is a simple and obvious fact. The vice president of the United States just said that publicly. Whether it's your first car, that's fucking crazy. Oh my God. I think that's a really big deal. Trump has said that publicly. It's a simple and obvious matter. Well, let me finish this point because, okay, my attitude towards this is Israel is an ally. Like France or like the United Kingdom, sure, we're going to have disagreements with them. We're going to have agreements with them. There are areas where we're going to have similar interests, and areas where our interests are going to diverge. So my approach to this is to say, you know what, when we're partnered, great, let's work together. And we're not, let's just be honest about it. And by the way, this is exactly what I said. This is what I want to hear.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is exactly the way that I feel.
I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Anti-Semite or anti-Israel, and they don't.
Yeah, this is when Biden called back the garbage with Trump. Go garbage fast and drop the garbage truck. I was at that mass word. It was at MSG rally.
Why is Israel losing? Why is Israel losing American public?
Yeah, trying to make it feel good.
Right now, number one, anti-Semitism is the OG racism, and if you import a bunch of people from countries that have that racism built into what they do in the country, the way that they feel, it's part of their culture, then yes, obviously that's the case. You're bringing in foreign identity politics. It's the same as if you bring in a bunch of Somalians, you're going to have those people that, they have problems with people in Kenya, right? I mean, that's it. So that's number one. So if you change demographics, those demographics come from places that have different viewpoints on this topic, you're going to have a change. It's the same thing as if you bring in.
I don't know who this guy is. I just saw him at the MSG rally.
Why is gay support going down? Geez. So that's number one. Number two, the videos of them bombing Gaza and all the kids crying, all the children being displaced, etc. It looks bad. Whether you think it is bad or not is not relevant. It does look bad, and for a lot of people, I think especially women, they see that and it scares them and it upsets them, and it makes them not like Israel. I think that's another factor. I think another third factor is AIPAC. AIPAC and the fact that we have all these Israeli flags flying around in our congressmen's rooms, I think that's a huge problem. I see an Israel flag in an American congressman in office, and I want to send that guy over to fucking Israel. I'd say the same thing with Somalia. I'd say the same thing with fucking anywhere else. Like, if you think this country is so great, when you're in trash. So anyway, Ted Cruz, Ted Cruz, Randy Fine or one of them, and I like Ted Cruz. I like Randy Fine. The reality is that fuck you can't do that. Get that fucking flag out of here. You're an American, like Huckabee. Yeah, there you go. And so there's that, and then on top of that, there is the reframing of criticism of Israel to criticism of Jewishness and anti-Semitism categorically, and then assigning that.
This because the blue states got so fucking expensive. The taxes are expensive in these things. Also got a lot of crime too. They are falling apart because all the bullshit taxes is expensive. Also the crime's really bad.
Tangentially aligned organizations that are trying to create ways that they can socially pressure people into not criticizing their country's decisions. Like for example, like making rules, like censorship and stuff like this. So all those are the reasons why people hate Israel. I would say those are four. I mean, and that's in no particular order, by the way. Like those are the reasons why people hate Israel. Has a very disproportionate effect on American I actually think that I was going to say it's not true whenever there's how many people have other flags like France, the UK, Germany flying around in their offices. It's only Israel. We have dozens of other allies around the world that we have close relationships with, whether it's Japan, Canada, even Mexico to a lesser extent, but especially the European countries. There's probably another one I'm not thinking of right now that's a big ally. But in general, we have a lot of these allies, but we're never actually activating on that on the same level that we do with Israel. We don't see their flag. Australia,
what a shithole.
We don't see any of these other flags around Israel.
That was such a shithole, man. People are stuff.
Casting stuff, all this bullshit. Average people, like, this is what's crazy about the human mind. Is that a lot of people understand when something's fucky, but they might not have the critical thinking skills or the IQ to be able to really verbalize why they think it's fucky. But their brain, their instinctual, ape brain, lizard brain in the very back of their mind tells them, because it's evolved for thousands of years to notice these trends and to exist. That's telling them something's not quite right.
With trees and shit like that.
Something's not. I'm detecting a pattern here, and they might not even understand it.
but it's there.
They look. Do they try to influence American politics? Yes. Like I said earlier, a lot of other countries do. I think to the extent that Israel does it, some are better at it than others. I think Israel is definitely more effective at it than most. But I would say that they're a globally effective country by any means that tries to influence American politics. I just think you have to be self-aware about it. The country is 9 million people. We have 330 million people, and so of course they're going to try to persuade Americans. They're going to try to move Americans in one direction.
I think Israel is unique too because Israel is a projection of Western and American power in the Middle East. That's basically why, that's why Israel is different.
You grab my sweat. He's going to need an ambulance soon. You don't need an ambulance? More than that. The concern is that they're spying on American politicians. There's
Spencer Pratt.
funding. Concerns about whether or not politicians are, whether they're aligned with Israel or whether they're aligned with the United States first.
I definitely get those concerns, but my sense is that the way that all foreign influence in the United States is people try to manipulate American public opinion, and then from manipulating public opinion, they try to get the outcome. And this thing he's right. Is a very good example of this.
I do think that J.D. Vance is right about this, but I think that he has to have stronger messaging about he has to either go in one direction or another. I think that he's too wishy-washy about it right now, and he's just he's saying I understand how you feel, and I don't think that's enough for these people one way or another. It's not enough for the pro-Israel people because they're like, well, then why aren't you helping us? And it's not enough for the anti-Israel people. It's like, well, why aren't you calling out this foreign influence, right? Because I do think that, yes, while other countries are trying to influence American politics, we have to look at which countries are doing it, which countries are effective, how they're doing it, and if the way that they're doing it is beneficial to America at all, or if it's just purely damaging. So, yeah, that's the way I would see it. And let me see. Oh, yeah, this is a voter ID.
And I think they cheat. I think they've been doing it forever. And I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID.
Is it racist to buy alcohol?
What are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, that's
racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really racist.
The implication of their argument is literally blacks and Hispanics cannot.
He just says it. He just fucking said, oh my god.
There was a lot of fucking dorks in the back and just fucking dumb dorks in the far left too.
This deal is vice president of the United States. That if Democrats really don't think that there's any cheating, give us voter ID.
I just don't know
give us
how
voter
it's
ID,
not.
and we'll stop talking.
Why is that not a federal thing?
We are trying to make it a federal thing. So we are right now trying to pass this crazy they don't have voter ID. The American Act. One of its main provisions is a requirement that you do voter ID.
They're in the same class as Denver. Denver led the league in sacks. They added Jalen Lowe. And oh, by the way, Bo Nix was a great late-game quarterback. And yet, the Cowboys and the Broncos, both about the same offense. The Cowboys have a 63-year-old owner who never calls himself the GM. I respect the hell out of Dak, but he's had 2 major surgeries, 2 and 5 in the playoffs. And oh, by the way, they now have a first-time defensive coordinator. They are the hardest team in the league. Get my arms around it. 5% of Dallas fans think they're going to
to
significantly likes the team more than their own fans.
And I try to make this point.
The Bills aren't the Cubs. They're not totally
And I say there are some elements
They've had
within
capable GMs,
who don't
B
like
plus coaches, B plus quarterbacks, and they can't win. I don't think it's just bad luck. Buffalo has been confidently running. There's no such thing as curses. Brady this year is going to be fascinating. He wasn't the best coach on the market, and they hired Joe Brady. And when they looked at who they interviewed beyond Joe Brady, it wasn't right.
And the other thing is interesting because as much as I know
Argentina and I'm trying to think of the last time there was an international soccer match that felt this big. There's so much history here. The hand of God playing, and Argentina goes on to win. It's just a fascinating moment in global soccer. I think Argentina is at an easier path. We are very messy, reliant. He is now 39. His data telling you as the World Cup goes on that old Argentinian roster, not quite as dominant. More balanced, 2 stars, playing hands on an absolute tear. I'm going England today.
You have seen this very
It was a major upset, right? Spain 2, France
to
nothing.
try to derail the negotiation,
A
to try
major
to
upset.
derail the deal.
Spain has given France problems. France gets the headlines. France has the flashy stars. France is the winner of a World Cup, and Spain dominated. Absolutely, first 90 seconds in dominated. The French had 1 shot on
elements within the Israeli army.
Spain is number 1 in shots, passes, passing accuracy, turnovers for, clean sheets, goals conceded, second in crosses, tied for second in assists, 37 straight matches.
Because if
These
you
guys had
had
a loss.
everybody that was smart voting, like, because everybody can vote, we have this total the goalie hurting. This is why it has to happen.
If you're an English soccer fan, it's still good with their Twitch tonight.
Get back, don't you? Get back.
Every law attacking me obsessively, saying that we should not be negotiating Argentina. We should just keep the military campaign rolling indefinitely. And that is
I remember that.
I take my marching orders from what I'm actually trying to do is accomplish what the President of the United States told me to accomplish, which is a settlement of this and accomplish what objectives.
Like they're getting every single game in the knockout phase. Yeah, they consistently grab it out of the hat every game. I don't know how many times they have to do it for us to be like, all right, this is just who they are. When you have the greatest player of all time, and when you have players who are willing to
let's say certain elements of the field or hit or criticize or have disagreements about the field.
Now,
of course, what's going to happen?
this was a twofold issue for England. They got through the first 60 minutes of the game. I thought they were very organized tactically. They defended very well. They really conceded.
I have a problem with that. I think that
And
we
then they
should
got
look
their
at that as an
goal,
external
and they
threat.
completely stopped attacking.
We should
After the
like
hydration
these are
break,
people that are trying to. And it's also it's a matter of how they're doing it. It's one thing if you tell people the truth. It's another if you're lying.
Israel doesn't do it. It's just from the nature of the beast. What bothers me is actually when Americans allow the American leadership allows that influence to affect their judgment. It's because
Yeah, both sides are saying that. Elon Musk basically said if Trump is the way it works, there will be more elections. Both sides do. Election.